family. On November 20th through December 1st, 2022, we will have the all-inclusive Kenya trip. Now, a lot of times people have said, hey, Phil, when's the next trip we'd like to go? I want to see Africa for myself, but this is the time to go. Everything will be taken care of. All excursions are paid. You can do monthly payments. You know, they'll have safari and a 6-city tour. You will see Chali Island, which is something that we did not see last time on the tour. This tour will be 12 days instead of 7 days. So make sure to secure your place on the trip by going to www.wbsvs.com, make your deposit, and then you can start making your payments, and we'll see you in Kenya. So a former Baltimore police sergeant, Keith Allen Gladstone, he admitted to planting a BB gun on an innocent man, stealing money from drug dealers, orchestrating a drug deal, and letting a suspect go free in exchange for an assault rifle. But he will spend less than 2 years in federal prison. Now, before we go any further, they got black people that's spending 20 and 30 years for a lot less. And yet he did all of this, and all he gonna do is spend 2 years in federal prison? Really? At minimum, he should be getting 30 years for all this crap that he pulled. Now, they say the U.S. Attorney's Office could only prosecute Gladstone for planting the BB gun on Demetric Simon 8 years ago. It's a U.S. District Judge Catherine Blake handed down a 21-month sentence on July 13. Gladstone pleaded guilty to conspiracy to deprive liberty without the due process of law, it said 3 years ago, and agreed to testify against other corrupt officers, including the leader of the notorious gun trace task force known for exploiting and abusing black people and dirty police tactics. It said Gladstone had prosecutor granted immunity when he confessed to the other crimes. Why? He shouldn't have no immunity. They say Sergeant Wayne Jenkins of the gun trace task force ran over Simon in March 2014, but he could not find any drugs or weapons on the man. So he called Gladstone for help. Gladstone asked one of his subordinates, Detective Robert Hankert, to buy a BB gun. It's a Gladstone and another subordinate, Detective Carmen, Vignola, drove to the incident scene where Gladstone dropped the gun and signaled to Jenkins. Court documents show. Simon spent 317 days in jail for gun possession charges before they were dismissed. He said it was dehumanizing what happened to me. It was the brother says. I appreciate Gladstone testified against other officers also responsible, but only after he was caught red-handed. But that's what a narcissist does. He never apologized. He never showed remorse, not to me, not to the people of Baltimore. See, these, particular race soldiers that go into these black areas, you got to remember what Darren Wilson said. Darren Wilson said that he wanted to work the black areas. That's all the action's at. It's not that it's all the action. That's where you can do the most dirt, because they can't get away with that kind of dirt in the white community. They can't do that, even though you got white drug dealers all over the place. They start robbing drug dealers in the white community, something's going to be said. But in the black one, they can get away with a whole lot of crap. Now, Simon had asked the judge to sentence Gladstone to the maximum sentence of 37 months in prison, and said he had to leave the court after being overwhelmed with emotion when Gladstone's family boasted about his integrity. Oh, my God, really? These people, like I said, but this is how a lot of them feel, them folks. If wrong things are done to black people by them, it's no big deal, because they don't view black people as human. Now, Gladstone, he joined the Baltimore Police Department as an officer in 1992. He was promoted to sergeant 19 years later. Gladstone initially retired from the force in December 2012, but was reinstated in December 2013. So he retired from the department again in May 2017, 3 months after Jenkins was charged with a slew of federal offenses, including racketeering, conspiracy, robbery and possession, of a firearm and furtherance of a crime of violence. Like Gladstone's wife and children described him as a loving and giving father and a good husband who looked out for others. Obviously, he didn't. His son Kyle said he did not condone with his father's actions. And he and his brother Cody said they understood that he did it to protect the colleagues he cared about in the department. Planting evidence on people is not protecting your colleagues, is not protecting the community. That's you trying to get a promotion, because they have to do so many arrests to get promotions. And who they going to target? Black people. Because number one, nobody cares about black people. Nobody. Unless black people can entertain them, or use them in any sort of way or fashion, they don't care about black people whatsoever. And the moment black people get that, we can actually get somewhere as a community. Even though he did all this, his family still supported him. I mean, no way I will support my brother, my cousin, or my son, or whatever, doing something like this. I was like, man, you said a man got an innocent dude put in jail, bro. What kind of crap is you? I wouldn't want to fool with a dude like that. Because, like I say, he dirty, and there's no telling what else he's capable of doing. Now, they say about 15 Baltimore officers were also convicted for misconduct at the time. They said Gladstone subordinates Vignola and Hankert were also indicted for their role in framing Simon after Gladstone implicated them. Now, remember, Gladstone was the one that told them to go get a BB gun to plant it. So he want to tell on them, but he's the ringleader. They said Simon has filed a $17 million lawsuit against the police department. It said Gladstone, Hankert, Vignola, and other officers involved in the scheme. Gladstone in court said he started stealing drug money early on in his career to pay confidential informants. It said adding that it was a common practice on the force. By 2003, Gladstone said he started to keep the money for himself. So he was out there just being a dirty cop, robbing drug dealers. He said Gladstone also admitted to stealing money in raids with Jenkins 3 to 5 times and planting drugs on a suspect. He said that he once delivered 3 kilos of cocaine he found in a police van to an informant to sell for him, and in another instance accepted an AR-15 rifle to set a suspect free. Now, Gladstone's attorney, David Irwin, said the former sergeant's bad actions tarnished a police career that was 99% good. Oh, God, he was not good. He was the devil. Now, they said that Gladstone apologized to Simon and the city's residents and the police department during his sentencing hearing. But, you know, this is going on a lot in cities like Baltimore. When you see too many of them folks, that's them police running up in black areas, they doing dirt. Because how is it that these police is always in the black area, but the crime isn't low? Because usually when police show up, usually crime is low. When the block get too hot, crime drops. People say, oh, no, it's too hot around here. That's too many police. We can go somewhere else. We're not going to be doing this. But when you see the police in there and your neighborhood is still bad with crime, it's because they're a part of it. They either, you know, like I said, drug dealing with them, planting evidence, doing whatever they want to do, sitting up here doing like Daniel Holtzclaw and violating women. All these things these jokers do in the black communities. Because if the police are sitting there all the time or harassing people all the time, it shouldn't be no drug dealing. It shouldn't be no crime. He got to understand that with the criminals, that y'all can do whatever y'all want to do. Just go ahead and give me my cut. Or I'll get you, or you need some dope? Okay, I'll go get you some from police lockup. That happens all the time in America and a lot of these places. And white America don't say nothing. You know why? Because it doesn't bother them. You notice the only time something bothers them is when they want to cry, like Roe v. Wade. People been talking about things like that. And the moment something happens to them, oh my God, the world's going to end. Oh, we should listen to black people. No, you the type of people, you only care about yourselves. And that's why I love to watch the system implode on you. Because everything that black people say, we just shake our head and just look at you and say, well, you know, we try to tell you. That law enforcement system is corrupt from the top down. People always talking about African countries and their corruption. These people are so corrupt. Please. These people invented the corruption. They just better at hiding it. You know, Africans are a little bit more upfront with what they doing. But I prefer that you be upfront with your corruption, then we can see it and deal with it versus hiding it like these people do. But 21 months? This dude should be getting 21 years. But yeah, y'all let me know what y'all think about this situation. I say this is sick and sad. It don't make any kind of sense. You know, for this dude to do all this stuff to people and he only get 21 months. But they got brothers in jail right now that's doing 20 years behind some weed. Hey family, make sure you join us on the new and improved AfricanDiasporaNews.org. Now it is our uncensored and raw truth website. We have to make sure to have our own website because on social media platforms, they do have rules and at any time they could change a rule and shut a whole genre down. Now, that would not happen to us because on AfricanDiasporaNews.org, we can speak the truth. We don't have to hold back. So make sure you join our website today.